Alright, so Mike's gonna bit.ly his thing here because I can't, for the recording people, because I can't copy from GoToWebinar. So until then, we're gonna answer these other questions and we'll get back to Mike. From Julia, there are companies that sell PBNs. Is it safe to buy them? I've always done my own, Julia, except a couple weeks ago I bought some from Gregory Ortiz, but he's in-house, he's in OMG, and he's proven that his work because he has his own rankings to show it. So he's actually setting those up now for me, and so I'm not only testing because they're not as strong as the ones I get. So I not only want to test weaker PBNs, but also I want to test that service he uses. It's called IP Networks, because supposedly they have it set up where Google can't track that it's all from the same host. So it's like SEO hosting that supposedly you can use links from that place over and over. But I don't want to recommend it to the community until I've tried it. Excuse me. So that's kind of two tests I'm doing in one, where I'll use the PBNs he's giving me to test just different strength stuff, and then also that network that he uses, IP Networks. I mean, he says that he's used it and it's worked fine, but I always like to do things myself before recommending. From Steve, by linking to it, Steve. Social properties to it, DAS to it. I mean, same thing, same way you get a website to show, but it can actually be easier in some cases because of all the domain authority it has. So, I mean, if you go search for Nashville SEO, whoops, you got our. Well, this is actually kind of a local listing first right here for us. Number one, Weebly's actually not number two. I'm actually Catch. It's on the second page. Number one is that the number one organic is actually our video, and we just have Nashville SEO in the title. We have it in the description, and then we sent some links to it. We sent some PBNs to it. Might have done some social to it. I think it's mostly just PBNs though. Same thing with Facebook. I mean, it's the same thing. We got Nashville SEO in the title. Even got in the URL for this one because you can't do it in YouTube. And then we just sent PBNs to it. And Jimmy might have done a little bit of DAS to it as well. So, I mean, same thing as websites. They just rank easier because of the domain authority. In a lot of cases, I should say. All right, from Reginald. Um, I'm not totally positive, Reginald. I'm guessing too many of them could. If you had, a whole bunch of links coming into non-existing pages and they weren't being redirected, I'm guessing that could affect you. Because, I mean, you're basically telling Google that a whole bunch of your pages aren't there, where, if you put in the redirect, you can say, well, this location is now here. So, I mean, I'm guessing it actually could negatively affect you if you had too much of that going on. That's why we either use Link Juice Keeper or manually redirect those links. All right, from Julia. Yeah, I haven't tried to fix KLCast. I talked to David Mills and he said, it's an example site. It helped a lot of people. We expected it to actually drop a lot earlier just because it was in such the spotlight and it was such a big site. So, I mean, we always knew that it was going to fall off eventually. He said, serve its purpose. Don't even worry about bringing it back. But, I mean, I, of course, have sites I'm not showing to the public that are like KLCast. But as far as KLCast, I don't think we're going to be doing anything with that. I might use this for some testing stuff, but other than that, no. From Reginald. I mean, as much time as you want, Reginald. But my advice is, if you put up WordPress, set it to not be indexed. Request the search engines not index it, and you go to that by going to settings, reading, and then it's discourage search engines from indexing this site or something like that. because if it sits too long with WordPress on it, it can get hit with a thin content penalty, as I've seen with a couple of my sites. But yeah, I mean, as far as buying it and just letting it sit, I mean that's not really a problem that I've seen because as long as all the links are still going to it, it's still powered. I still have a little bit of a cough, so sorry if I'm coughing into the microphone. I'll try to direct away from it. Alright, so the only remaining question is from Mike. He wants to go through his Google Doc thing. Okay, I'm gonna use Chrome. Firefox is not cooperating. Of course, not logged in. Okay. Maybe I gotta update my Firefox. There we go. Alright, so Fletch already covered the paper lead stuff, and that's not really my area anyway, so I'm just gonna go through anything that's talked about with linking here. Let me zoom in so that people on video can see it clearly. Yeah, that's cool. How much content should be on each page or post? I mean, I think it depends how big the site is, Mike. In my opinion. What are you doing? Are you doing like one state? Like how many pages are you gonna have? 50 plus. I mean, personally, if it was me, if it was a site I cared about, I would try to do at least 250 on each page, and even switch it up, do more on some. That's just me. I like to be safe. Well, less work probably, but that's what I would do. Should I have a link to a high domain authority page from each page or post? I personally probably would. I wouldn't. Probably you don't have to on every single one, but a lot of them, what I would do is like maybe, if you're talking about Nashville, link to like Nashville.gov to kind of help theme the page around an authority in that area. That's what I do a lot when I'm doing like my PBN post. Like if I'm linking to something in Nashville, I'll link out to like Nashville.gov or visitmusiccity.com. Highly respected websites in that certain area. But yeah, on most of them, I likely would. I mean, yeah. Again, if it's a site you care about, I would try to make it look as good as possible. Again, you don't have to have images on every page, but the better you can make it look, and the more media you can get in there, the better. Even some videos if you can. I mean, if you really care about the site, what I would do is even make a video for each term you're going after, embedded on the page, and then you can start get domain authority stacking going, where you not only have a video embedded on the page, which is linking to the site, but you can also send links to the video, which boost the video and it boosts the money site. So, I mean, you can do things like that to not only get media on the page, but also get yourself another property and kind of get more power all around. So. Okay, and you kind of address this here. Yeah, I mean, it's something I would do. Likely, I would start with other people's videos and then replace them with my own. Again, depending on how important the site is. Okay. We'll create Facebook, YouTube, Google Plus, Twitter. Good, good, awesome. And remember that Social Explosion now has the RSS option where you can send it to anything that has an RSS feed. Okay. So, for example, if you create a Weebly and you link it back to your site, you can put that Weebly RSS in Social Explosion and start sending social to that Weebly, which is the basic form of domain authority stacking. I just did a video on that yesterday. I mean, if you have it siloed out, I would start with the silo so it works its way down, and even the home page. And then from there, just kind of go with your most important targets. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing, like if Tennessee's your silo and Nashville's your most important target, hit the Tennessee silo so it drips down to everything, then hit Tennessee specifically. I mean, that's the way that I would approach that. Or and the home page, of course. You can really do either. EMDs are something where Google kind of goes back and forth with them. So, I mean, the more powerful option right now would probably be the EMD term and URL because that's working very well right now. But safer all around, I would say, would probably be like the brand. So that's the decision that you got to make. But I think either one will work fine in the long term. You just put yourself in a little more of a seesaw with the EMD. Chances of a seesaw, I should say. Okay, and let me know if that covers it, Mike. And as Mike's writing in, I'm going to check out if we got any other questions. Hopefully I started recording. I did, good. Alright, from Steve here. Yeah, it's still possible to rank in Gold IRA for sure, Steve. It's still possible to rank anywhere. I don't even think that many people are doing gold. I mean, not as many people are doing as there was a year ago, in my opinion. I don't see many people talking about it or doing sites on it. I haven't been, so. From Reginald. Service themed PBNs? I don't know what you mean by buy more service themed PBNs. I mean, you theme the PBN around what you want to theme it around, Reginald. So when we say theme, we don't necessarily mean that it has to be a PBN that was about. Like, if you're going to make it something about cats, doesn't necessarily mean it had to be about cats before. You can buy something that was about politics and then make the content about cats, and then it's a cat-themed PBN. That's what we're talking about when we say themed. I mean, yeah, if you find one that has links to it that used to be about cats, and then you put up cat information, that's even more relevant. But when we say theming, we're actually talking about like buying any PBN, just theming it by the content you put up. From Mike. I would say as many as you want. And that's also something you can talk to their support about with Mike, but I mean, there's no reason you can't send them back as far as you want because they have thousands of accounts in their system. You know what I mean? So when you make posts, it's almost definitely going to be from different accounts. And even if it was from the same account, I don't think that would be a huge deal. Okay, from Reginald. I think I kind of answered that already. From Julia. To have SEO on Facebook? Not sure exactly what you mean, Julia. SEO on Facebook. If you're talking about like a Facebook page on SEO, that's absolutely fine. As you see right here, we did like Nashville SEOTN, which still ranks. And again, that's the beauty about doing Web 2.0s with your sites, guys. Is again, if you haven't seen my intro to domain authority stacking video, I just talked about this. But not only when this fell out of the organic results, we still have the Weebly ranking. This is actually on page 2, but YouTube video is number 1. We got our Facebook at number 4 still. We got our Yelp at number 6. We got our finance here, Yahoo at number 9. And then the Weebly is down here like number 11. We got LinkedIn at number 12. We got SlideShare at number 15. We got Foursquare at number 18. So, I mean, we're still dominating the results. And all those properties, while Nashville SEO was ranking organically, it was powering up Nashville SEO as well. I mean, it still is. It's still helping it rank right here in the local. Like all these right here, all these properties are still helping it rank here, like in the maps. Because as you power it up, even if they're not citations, it's going to still help it rank in the maps. It's going to power it up and give it more credibility. So I mean, doing all these things, we're not only getting more visibility and more chances to be clicked, but we're also powering up this listing right here. So, but I mean, back to that, yeah, you can definitely have SEO as a Facebook page if that's what you meant. And I mean, this kind of goes back to Mike's question as well. Should I use an EMD? One thing that might have thrown off my answer to that, Mike, was it looked like you had the keyword in the company as well, so that there wouldn't have been much difference there. But I mean, having the keywords in the URL is going to help you a lot. And you know what? Even like with these EMD updates, really this isn't like an EMD. So I'm going to change my answer there and say you should probably go with the EMD keyword as long as it doesn't look like unnatural. Okay. So I would actually probably go with the EMD. If you want to be super safe, go with the company name, but that's going to be harder to rank because when you have the keyword in the URL, it's definitely easier to rank. All right, from Reginald here. All right, so natural anchor text. I mean, the okay, I wouldn't really compare natural and branded anchor text. I mean, branded anchor text is a part of a natural looking anchor text portfolio. Um, Here's a good example. If you want to see natural anchor text, like natural breakdowns, go to Ahrefs or something like that and type in any big company name. All right, so let's go type in bestbuy.com and let's go look at their anchor text. If you want to like build your site to be as natural as possible, just go and look at sites like this, okay? So you got Best Buy for 34%, you got bestbuy.com for 9%, www 6%, Best Buy with it together 5. Then these are like images. This is just, generic. You got another URL, this website, click here. So this is what a natural anchor text portfolio looks like. I mean, because this like naturally gets linked to, right? Any big company like this, they're not really doing much SEO. Like they don't have to do much SEO because they're at a point where they're so big that people are just naturally linked to them. I mean, anything like that. You can even go to like smaller companies. Like I don't know if everyone knows about Seasons Pizza, but it's a company around here. They have the heck. Yeah. But these guys aren't as big, but they still naturally get linked to because they're a fairly big business around here. So you can even do this at different levels where you go to like huge companies like Best Buy and then smaller ones like Seasons Pizza. And you see actually pretty similar right here, right? Like you see the brand here, 21. It was 34 for Best Buy. And then all of these types of variations you see, right, which are kind of similar with the numbers there. Then you see stuff like here, website, which is generic anchor text. And then you saw a lot of this with Best Buy. You got the name of the brand plus other words. And you see that a lot with natural looking websites. All right, so this, I mean, if you really want to see like a really natural looking portfolio, just go look at big companies. And we'll look at one more, like Applebee's.com. And that you actually saw that in my history because I do this. This is something I do is I go and look at sites like this just to kind of see what natural looks like, just to remind myself. Like for these big companies, what are they doing? Especially like EMDs, like. And you see right here, same type of thing. Okay. Here, visit website, company name, website name. All of these are up top for the most used. And then you got, Applebee's plus other words. Very common. Applebee's Restaurant, Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, Applebee's International. And you can kind of take this and use it for stuff like, if you have an EMD for something, you can kind of mimic this in a way. Or if you have like, weightloss.com, you can do weight loss, you'd have weight loss as a bunch for your, like the weight loss alone, weight loss in the URL, in different types of versions, which is going to help you rank for weight loss. It's going to help build a brand around weight loss. And then you have like weight loss for women, weight loss for men over 40, visit here for weight loss. You can like kind of mix this in with what you're doing with SEO. And hopefully that's kind of helpful. I mean, this is the type of stuff I do to get anchor text stuff. All right, from Susan. It actually wasn't an expired domain, Susan, crazy enough. But yeah, it can be reversed. The one that I got it on, that I'm doing a real site on, it's still not reversed. It seems like 'cause it's not ranking well. But I mean, once you put up content and there's some time in between there, it should definitely get reversed. So I'm expecting that site that I'm talking about to come back, fairly soon. From Julia. Yeah, that's fine to do. Just be careful with okay, with GoDaddy, that's definitely okay to do because they're such a big service. But the, the case where you want to be careful with like having a whole bunch of money sites on the same hosting company is if it's with like a medium to smaller level host company. Like if it's like a host like some mom and pop host that maybe only 100,000 people use, opposed to GoDaddy where tens and maybe hundreds of million people use them. If you have a hosting company that only like 10,000 people use, and you have like Money Site 1, Money Site 2, Money Site 3, you have 5 money sites on it, and you're linking from a PBN, even if these are all on, even if your PBNs are on different hosts, different IPs and all that, if you're linking to like, Money Site 1, Money Site 2, Money Site 3 here, well, guess what? All of these three money sites, even though they're on different, even though well, it doesn't matter actually about your PBN. What you're doing is you're linking to three different money sites, even if they're on different IPs on different hosts. They're with the same register. They're with the same. I'm sorry. Even if they're with different registrars and all that, they're on the same host, which is a very small host. Okay, so they got different IPs and maybe different registrars, whatever the case. But if they're all on the same host, that's fishy. If only 10,000 people use the host that these three same money sites are on, all right. So just be careful with that in that aspect, because that can create a footprint where you can kind of get not just your money sites in trouble, but your PBNs. That's something I'm always careful of, is linking to sites on the same hosting account, especially if it's like a smaller hosting account that it's not as well known, because that's something that they could definitely put together. But yeah, with GoDaddy, Julia, they're so big that you probably won't have a problem with that. The focus where, Mike? What are you talking about with the focus in the URL and the anchor text on the page? What do you mean by focus? Like, be more specific about that one. Okay, that's fine, Mike. They'll be on post. From Alvin. Because the Google Keyword Tool or the Google Keyword Planner isn't accurate, Alvin. I mean, it's an estimate. I know people who have made tons and tons of money from terms that show zero searches. For example, if you go and you search, for example, in my city, there's 100,000 people. If you go search like Wilmington, Delaware, or plumbers, it might show you like no searches. But you really think no people from a 100,000 person town are never searching that? You know what I mean? That's probably what I would search if I was looking for a plumber. So, I mean, that's not totally accurate. You kind of have to go by like the amount of people in that city as well, because there's definitely people searching for things that they say is zero, 100%. From Chris. That's just something that Mike Broadwell made up in the OMG group. If this is what you're talking about. It was done on December 12th. No, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about page or post, Mike. I mean, post obviously have more options with tags and categories, but I wouldn't worry too much about page or post. From Steve. Yes, I do, Steve. I mean, mostly now that's what I do. With that said, I mean, general PBNs are still working totally fine. I've seen it. I see competitors doing it, and it's working totally fine. Where they'll do stuff on cats, they'll do stuff on poker, they'll do stuff on books, all in the same PBN, and it works totally fine. But the safer long-term way is to theme them out. No, you do not have to find PBNs that used to be on that topic, Reginald. All right, cool, Julia. From Reginald. I never really recommend staying away from them, Reginald. It's I don't want to recommend doing it. Uh, just because for long term, I think it's something that can be very easily stopped. I mean, if you see a site that it used to have, let's just say 200 pages. All right, so an expired domain used to have 200 pages. Now all of a sudden, all those old pages are gone, and then there's new pages up. Like every page is gone, and then there's all these new pages up on a different topic. So it's not something that I really want to recommend, but at the same time, it's still working very well. So I don't want to. I don't want to tell you it's not working. So just use your own judgment for that. What you want to do. From Mike. Okay. Yes, I mean that's a decision. I think you were talking about Mike the like for your Web 2.0s to do the company name or the EMD. Again, EMD is going to be more powerful still, but if the company name or whatever or branded has even some of the keywords in it, you could just go that way and you kind of get a little bit of both. I mean, I don't really use stringing for on page, Mike. That's more of an off page thing. But let me know if you have questions about that. I've never actually tried to do that, Mike. Expired Weebly sites, Tumblr sites, and all that. I've just done that with regular websites. But I mean, you can build up the domain authority of a Weebly very quick, and because or the page authority because of the domain authority, the page authority is going to rise quicker because it's already coming from a trusted site. And EMD, Julia, is an exact match domain, so keep doing that. So if you're trying, like, if you have the domain name DelawarePlumbers.com, that's an EMD for Delaware Plumbers because it's your exact domain name, which can help you rank a lot easier. From Alvin. Yeah, I mean that's up to you, Alvin. Or at least as many as you need. You know, what I mean you probably won't need. You're saying you have multiple sites, okay? I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do, Alvin, that's what if that's what you want to use them all for, then I would do that. I mean, one level that's kind of in the middle, Alvin, is you could do it. You could kind of do like a city themed PBN. So, for example, you could do it on like Nashville, like a Nashville directory type thing, and then you do your Nashville SEO site, right? You link to your Nashville SEO site, and then maybe you get a Nashville client, and then he's like a Nashville plumber. So then you put up a thing on Nashville plumbers, and you kind of turn into like a resource for Nashville, kind of like a resource directory. So that's kind of another way that you can theme it, is based around like location, and I do that, by the way. How many pages does My City SEO have? I mean, I like to usually have at least like 5 pages on my site, just me personally. Um, I mean, if you have it if you have it well designed, it's only going to help you, Alvin. But I mean, I will definitely start, city SEO and any site with a more generic look, and then as it ranks, I'll have it changed up. How long does a website take to rank in a tough niche? I mean, it depends on so many things, Steve. I mean, it depends on how well Google likes your on page optimization. Your domain is an expired domain with a lot of power on it already. Is it an EMD? Um, is it a brand new site with no keywords in it? I mean, there's so many things that go into how long it would take. How tough is the niche? I mean, it's impossible to answer. For Mike, I mean, yeah, I would do both, Mike. I mean, so make it about the suburb and plumbing. But of course, with on page today, you don't want to go overboard with any keywords. So I mean, really mentioning, put plumbing in there once, plumbers in there once, plumber in there once, the singular version, and then put the name of the suburb in there like once or twice if you're having 250 word articles, and that's going to be plenty. With on page today, you definitely don't want to overdo any keywords. They're very very touchy with on page these days. And Mike's question was the last, so I'm going to give a couple more minutes here for questions to roll in. Let me pause this recording. Pause this. And all these yeses, by the way, I was just asking people if it was helpful, the domain authority stacking intro, so that people aren't lost. Merry Christmas, Reginald, from Alvin. I mean, the more you post, the better, I would say, Alvin, but you don't have to post every day. And actually, you know what? With our, and always remember, like, any question you have, you can usually always look into. Did not mean to hit that 1 second here. Okay. For example, like, let's go over to, I don't even know the answer to how much we posted this. I'm not sure we posted this at all. But let's go over to the Facebook and let's bring it up over here. I really don't think we posted this at all, but let's see. Yeah, the last time we posted this was May 18th, which is more than half a year ago. So I mean, what you can do is you can always like go and look at people's properties that are ranking and see how often they post it to them. I mean, with something like this, the reason we're probably still ranking is we just have enough content on here where where it doesn't really matter if we continually post because we have enough content showing. You know what I mean? Like there's enough activity that already on here. Whereas if we put it up and we made like one post and then left it, it might not be doing as well. But you can remember you can always go and look at what's working. You know, just like the natural anchor text thing, go look at a site that would have a natural anchor text portfolio like BestBuy.com. Do I have to post to my properties? Well, we know Greg's Nashville TN Facebook is ranking. How often did he post to that? Go look at it. Or go look at different niches where Facebooks are ranking and see how often they post to theirs. So don't forget you can always reverse engineer. Alright, from Alvin. Yeah, I would, Alvin. Or you can send links from your social to your other social, which link to your money site. And I kind of explained that in the demand authority stacking video, of course. From Peter. Would you break up your My City site? I'm trying to fully understand your question, Peter. Okay, so like Philadelphia, they only serve South Philadelphia. I probably wouldn't break it up. That's a pretty good question, actually, Peter. I mean, it's not hard to answer. It's just hard to visualize without a certain, like a specific case in mind. But so if you have like the Southern Philadelphia, um, let's see, Qzx899 you had like Plumbers, Philadelphia, but it was a business only targeting South Philadelphia. I mean, yeah, you could just do South Philadelphia, right, for your right here. Or what you could do, if you don't want to do that, you could just leave Philadelphia, and then in the content, like for the title of the page, you would do like, serving South Philadelphia. And then, of course, reiterate in the content, a South Philadelphia based plumber, blah blah blah. So I mean that's how I would do it. But I mean you could do it at the URL level. But if you already did the page or something, or you just don't want to do South Philadelphia in the URL for some reason, you can always take care of that in the title. And then even if it does rank for like Philadelphia in general, people will see serving South Philadelphia and they'll kind of skip over it. All right, from Julia. Social Explosion. Yeah, you can definitely use Social Explosion for client sites, Julia. Absolutely. From Chris. Oh, thank you, Chris. Yeah, one of the reasons for that, Chris, is I have trouble understanding things myself. So I kind of remember like the pain I went through to learn something, and when you remember pain, like pain gives you like a better memory, I think. So I really remember even the basics because I have even trouble learning the basics sometimes. So I think I'm just able to explain it better because of the way that the problems I have with learning. From Mike. It's funny you say that, Mike. I'm actually testing right now. I have some like generic like local sites. I'm just ranking for like random local stuff, just like this testing stuff. And I just ordered a bunch of citations for them, but they're not listed in my Google Places or my Google Business. And I also took like some random businesses that are out there that aren't in my Google Business. So what I did two tests. I did my generic type sites that first of all there's no business attached, and I just used a fake address for the address. So I went to fake name generator, grabbed the fake address in that city, and then did citations under a fake address. And the second test I did was for random businesses, like I'd find a business back on like the fourth page, but that they weren't listed in my Google Business. So I would do citations for their business with a real address, but of course they weren't listed in my Google Business. So those are the two tests I'm doing. I talked to Jimmy about it, and he said he's pretty sure that both will move up from the citations, even without being in my Google Business and with a fake address. So, and I agree with him, but I just want to back it up with a test. And once I get those results back, Mike, I'll let the community know. Merry Christmas, Peter, from Mike. Sorry. I mean, complete duplicate content, I definitely wouldn't do, Mike. Um, it depends what you're using it for. I personally am scared of duplicate content. I try to stay away from it as much as possible. With social stuff, it's not as big of a deal, I don't think. Like Facebook, Twitter, and stuff like that, like real social. But I mean, I would personally would stay away from it as much as I could. But there is some services out there where, like, for example, maybe they'll go post to Facebook, Twitter, and all that, and I'll give them like a paragraph spun and not worry about it. Whereas if it was something going to like websites, I would not do that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Kind of shed some light on it. From Alvin. No, you can send links back to your money site with brand with money keywords, Alvin. You're welcome, Julia, and Merry Christmas. So let's see if we got any final questions here. And Alvin was asking, he was saying he was talking about social. Even with social, Alvin, you can, like with Weebly, you can send a money keyword back to your site. But a lot of social sites, they won't allow anchor text, so it's going to be a branded link or like with the URL, or it's going to be like a title link, which is like the title of your site. But yeah, I mean, if they allow you to, you can definitely do that. All right, so I'm going to take a final screenshot here. Any final questions? 10, 9, 8. And I got to pick up my son just a little bit. So I just want to make sure no one else has questions. Nothing, nothing. All right. So there's a few more here, and then we'll get rolling. All right, from Steve. No. No, there won't, Steve. And your YouTube video would probably outrank your money site in that case, but nothing wrong with that. It would still power up your money site, though, a little bit. And I answered this one from Alvin. Susan, Merry Christmas. Mike. Okay, yeah. And the thing with duplicate content, Mike, is like I said, I don't really mess with it. So I don't really have a ton of data on duplicate content. Um, the most I use duplicate content is like where I said where there's like a service that goes out and posts to like a bunch of social, and I'll just give them like a little bit of spun content, which will give me a little bit of duplicate content, but I'm not as worried about it on the social. But as far as like money sites and stuff like that, I never mess with duplicate content. Like I don't even play with it. Like my thinking is even if there's like a little duplicate stuff in there that's working now, down the road it'll be pretty easy to wipe out. So I always just do unique content for most of my stuff, just to kind of stay away, just to make that not something that I even have to worry about. You know what I mean? From Alvin, more powerful links, better optimization. I mean that's the two biggest things: power links and optimization. If, and relevance as well. If a site has 1,000 links from weak irrelevant sites, I can beat them out with one link. I can get one strong relevant link with the right anchor text, and I'll dominate them. So I mean, it all comes back to power and optimization. So all right, so still no more question. Okay, one. Oh no, no more questions. All right, guys. So that's the end of today's. Hopefully, it was a good one for you. I'll get this recording over to David Mills today, as soon as I get back from picking up my son, and then I should have another session either next Monday or Wednesday, I'm guessing. All right. Again, hopefully you all enjoyed this session, and I will see you all on the next one.